Before we finish, Keith, we get a little bit of Celtic reaction that I mentioned.
Yeah,
from the chat with Mick.
I'll tell you what, though, Dan. Right? So Mick mentions he's a great with an analogy, Mick, and he's obviously going for the Bobby Ewing shower scene. But I think this season, what has made this season has actually been the M&N show, hasn't it? Martin and Nonsi. Because the two of them and whatever it was that they thought that they were doing, it has created this dramatic set of circumstances that we're all going to get the benefit of from now until the end of the season. If it wasn't for Martin and it wasn't for Nonsi, then we're looking at a completely different set of circumstances. Between them, the two of them managed to torpedo their own clubs in a very short space of time, and now here we are.
Martin and Nancy sounds like a sitcom waiting to happen.
It did happen.
Davy Hoop says, and take nothing for granted as far as Celtic are concerned. Martin O'Neill's point, if we don't make any signings, especially a striker, we won't win the league. We've asking too many players to go to the well too many times. They need support. Jonathan is confident. He says, if we strengthen in January, Martin O'Neill can win the league comfortably. Paul Brady mentioned Celtic's interest in Kieran Bowie. Big Rab says, if Celtic get a striker, they're going to hammer teams. 5 sitters missed yesterday. The Slabbering Cabbage, great name, says, we all know that if Martin O'Neill's back and brings in quality this month, we'll retain our league trophy and a possible double, no doubt. The thing is, though, Keith, it's 11th of January already. I'm totally...
Celtic have to sign people. There has to be reinforcements. There has to be a striker. But they are making an absolute backside of it. And this is not a first. This has been repeat behaviour over the course of the last year or so, maybe even longer than that. I think the worry is, and they've got Martin O'Neill in, and he is going to correct all the mistakes that Wilfred Nancy made. But Celtic, and you know, I think there's a lot of people will say Celtic fans have got this overblown sense of entitlement because, we're not winning a trophy, let's go to the car park and have a demonstration. But I think it's not just as simple as that, this one. You know, they're looking at repeat behaviour from a board which is continually letting them down. And then across the city, you've got Rangers who have actually fixed their foundations. We said on this show, I don't know how long ago before, you know, maybe a year or so ago, I was saying that Rangers actually need regime change. They need fundamental changes made in the structure and the management of the football club. Otherwise, they're going nowhere. It's starting to feel like Celtic have managed to somehow get themselves into this same position. Rangers have sorted their foundations, but Celtic are crumbling from the top down. And whatever Martin O'Neill does is fine. That's Martin O'Neill. He'll work a miracle or he'll come close or whatever happens under Martin O'Neill. But the long-term structural issues that are causing Celtic such angst at this minute in time, I don't know how they get fixed. And perhaps, although Rangers have got nowhere near the sort of financial resources that Celtic have managed to pile up over the years, the fact that Rangers have done the hard stuff, the real critical stuff at the foundation level. Yes, Andrew Kavanagh has come in and he's made some mistakes. He's fixing them. He's taking ownership. Celtic are in a state of disarray. And that's the concern that's, you know, we're all going to focus on and enjoy what lies between now and the end of the season. Of course we are, and if Celtic can get the league title, maybe a Scottish Cup, then Martin O'Neill gets the greatest send-off of all time. It's incredible stuff. But the problems will remain. And that's, I think, the major concern for the Celtic supporters right now. Yeah, they'll be more than happy to focus on what's happening on the pitch, but it's what's happening off it. Maybe Rangers have got a jump on them, you know, whether it's this season or going forward. If Celtic don't address the issues that caused the split between the fans and the board and caused the Brendan Rodgers situation and caused Celtic to go into this mode where it's like they're in a continuum sort of a loop of, right, we'll bring back this guy, bring back that guy, he did a job for us, bring him back. Celtic need to be a lot more fronting than that. And they've got themselves into a mess. And, you know, Martin O'Neill might just be the guy that manages to keep everything together between now and May. but these bigger issues are still there and still need to be addressed.
Yeah. Just to finish, Marzuno says, when the only criteria for signing a striker is better than Kenny, it shouldn't really be that hard. And Paul Brady says, what's the bet in Celtic do the usual? Wait till deadline day to bring in players. They just can't do that this year, Keith. They've got Hearts on the 25th. And as Mick mentioned earlier, big games coming up before that. They need players in yesterday. I mean, it's mad. It's crazy.
It is, and it's just, I'm afraid that the Kyogo thing, the whole Kyogo farce, in many ways might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Because as we've said, this rinse and repeat. Go back, go and get Kieran Tierney, go and get Jota back. Now, the Kieran Tierney thing's a good bit of business. A guy that you got 25 million for, and you can get him back in a free, and he's still a good age. Jota's been unlucky with injury. However, there is some disquiet behind the scenes at Lennoxtown about where he is in his recovery, why it's taking him so long, why he's so far behind schedule. Is there a concern that, having made his money in Saudi, that his heart's not in it the way it was previously? I don't know. Bring back Peter Law, we'll make him chairman. Bring back Martin O'Neill. Bring back Martin O'Neill again. Bring back Brendan Rodgers. It's this lack of vision and forward thinking that is the critical issue at Celtic. Yeah. And for the Kyogo thing, one or two of these deals is perfectly acceptable in normal circumstances, but this seems to be the perpetual mode that Celtic are in now.
Yeah.
And to go for Kyogo, to replace Kyogo a year after selling Kyogo, when Kyogo's a diminished version of the player that Celtic had first time around,
and doesn't he want to come back?
And then you've got the ultimate slap in the face of the guy doesn't want to touch it with a barge pole. And that optically has presented this already under fire Celtic board with even more of a credibility issue. They simply have to find the answer for this problem, at least one striker, and they have to do it, as you said, Daniel, the speed of light. Otherwise, they'll have let Martin O'Neill down, and that might be unforgivable in the eyes of the Celtic supporters.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.